It was recommended that every school should have a sports day, followed by the first inter-school sports day held in 1949. By 1976, the Cayman sailing team was in the Olympics, followed by the island's participation in CARIFTA, Central America and Caribbean Games, Pan American Games, the Commonwealth Games, Island Games, World Championships in athletics, and World Cup qualifiers in football.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way. Positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk Today.
What is on your mind, Cayman? If you are ready to talk, we are ready to listen. Here's your host, Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, welcome and thank you. Another wonderful Wednesday's edition of Talk Today as we invite you to be a part of our discussion. I'm going to start off hopefully with the company of James Jambo Miles as we talk about the Proud of Them nominees and the nomination process. And then at 1 p.m., the Honorable Tourism Minister will join us for an hour as we talk about the series of upcoming meetings. So stay tuned for Talk Today.
Talk Today is reminding you.
Avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
Email Talk Today at candw.ky. Let your voice be heard.
And now, back to Sterling Dwayne Ebanks, Radio Cayman Talk Today.
Hey, welcome back. Thank you very much for joining us as you participate in the discussion. In a bit, expecting the good company from the Youth Services Unit, James, Jambo, Miles, and Miss Dean to join us. I know she's assembled and waiting, so we'll just get started as it is. And at 1 o'clock, we will have the Honorable Minister for Tourism together with his Chief Officer in the studio. We'll talk about the port project as it is. You know, an opportunity now until our guests get settled to have some open line, 949-8037, 949-6990. Of course, the toll-free line, we're told, and we want to make sure it is available to all, as we're told, whether or not you are a Flow subscriber. Thank them very much for their continued partnership. 1-800-534-8255. You can call and share your thoughts. And of course, you can WhatsApp call 925-3261. Quick update. We're going to end at 2 p.m. today. Some of you are excited and go, yeah, get more music. just sometimes our schedules are such that we are unable, as much as we would like to dictate and define our destiny, be that as it may. We are not always, sort of captains at the helm. Sometimes it's decided by others. So today we have to end just a little bit early. I would ask, for your forgiveness, accept your acknowledgement and appreciation that these things sometimes have to transpire, and crave your indulgence and acquiescence. But what's on your mind? 949-8037, 949-6990, or toll free with the compliments of Flow at 1-800-534-8255. As a scheduled discussion, initially it's going to be a part of the Proud of Them Youth Awards. Reminder that the nomination period is going to soon open, and it continues through just the first few days within September. So get your thoughts in gear, get prepared to nominate as many of our young individuals as possible. Ages 10 to 25 is that age range that we can nominate. We'll get a chance to share more about it over the coming weeks, but we have some wonderful, fantastic, amazing people in our country, and if Miss Shana doesn't mind, yesterday we had an excellent company of having our daughter in the studio, and as we chatted with her, here's a young individual like so many of our young people. They're independent minded, they're absolutely intelligent, they're determined, they are poised for great things, and we want to encourage them, we want to support and nurture them. But I'm so grateful that she shared that what we all need is not just a mentor. We need a sponsor, a supporter, a promoter. We need parents who are engaged and involved. One of my sisters always shares with the rest of us, you can't be a lazy parent. You got to be a parent who not only takes your child to the musical recital or practice, or the sports practice, or the final game. You're there as best and as much as possible to be an active cheerleader, and not to do the job of the coach or the tutor, but to partner. And increasingly, we are seeing a society where some of our families are challenged to be there at the child's event, from the sports event to the award ceremony at the school, because of the obligations of the job, their co-workers. Not saying this to be disparaging, please, if it offends, this is one of the times that I ask, help me to say it properly, but we've all been there. We've been that co-worker who hindered the other co-workers from getting, not because we were mean, it's just the nature of the job. Or we've been that co-worker could not get to go because of the nature of the job. And sometimes, sadly, we perceive it's the meanness, the malice, of the other person. But it's the nature of the world these days. What we say 24/7, 365, where we seem to be on all the time. But if we look to other cultures, could we draw, from them, where perhaps they find that balance? Not, as a friend says, we should say their work-life balance, but the life-work balance. We do our jobs, we get paid, we hopefully perform and produce and ensure that what we do is productive. But we also need to make sure that there is that thing that transpires that allows us to not just make a living, but actually live and enjoy. So for those parents who may find that their employment responsibilities, obligations, commitments, the notion of not having that level of sort of engagement, because maybe the perception of the organization, maybe the actual organization itself. Let's see what we can do. Now, as I referenced earlier, we have a scheduled discussion about the Proud of Them Youth Awards. We're just waiting for Mr. Jamo to come. He will be joined by a fantastic honoree who has been here for, well, I hope I say this with the love and respect and it's received as such, long before midday. And I only say that to highlight that I don't know about other cultures, but I know from my own personal experience, our expectation, and the example is that when you say you're going to be there, my dad would say if you arrive on time, that means you're late. So if it's 12 o'clock, people get there much earlier, but they're definitely on time. So when I hear people say, came on time, especially when came on in and say, I don't think you understand that that's offensive to our forefathers. They were always on time. That's the way they did it. That's how they expect it to be, and that's how it should be. So to that fantastic young person, she has that ethos. She's here waiting, and we'll get started in a bit. All right, let's pause. We'll take a break, and if the discussion is able to unfold as planned, great. 1 p.m., the Honorable Tourism Minister with the Chief Officer will join us. We'll have that discussion, and then, 1 o'clock, we're on to other things, and you get more music. So stay tuned for Talk Today.
Refer a friend and get $50 to spend when your friend or family member opens a personal account with Cayman National. From July 9th to September 30th, 2024, C&B customers can earn $50 for each referral who opens an individual or joint personal account. Earn up to $500 with a maximum of 10 referrals. Visit CaymanNational.com for more details on this promotion and follow us on social media for updates. Terms and conditions apply.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Beacon Furniture is celebrating 20 years of providing gorgeous and affordable furniture for your home. Now through August 5th, Beacon Furniture is offering 20% off all in-stock furniture and home accessories. We offer free delivery and setup. Visit us at our location, 386 Shamrock Road Prospect, opposite the Seafarers Hall. Call 943-2500 or check out our website at www.beaconfurniture.ky. Beacon Furniture. Buy it today and have it in your home tonight. Thank you for 20 years of support. Save 20% off this week at Beacon Furniture.
A caring and community spirit, cherished family and cultural values. These are some of the things that still embodies the Caymanian way of life in the Eastern Districts today. Savannah Pharmacy, your neighborhood pharmacy, located in Countryside Shopping Village, is delighted to offer products and services of real value. Whether it's catering to your family's medical needs or carrying apparel, gifts, and beauty products, Savannah Pharmacy provides you with more than just prescriptions. Remember, they're always just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays. Savannah Pharmacy. For more information, call 946-3336.
Prescription refills made easy at Savannah Pharmacy. WhatsApp your prescription refills to 929-5045. Shop at Funky Tanks, the home of electronics and more. Check out Funky Tanks' 2 locations, Shedden Road and Countryside Savannah, for loads of savings. In stock at Funky Tanks, both locations, stoves, fridges and small appliances, mini split air conditioning units, sheets and comforters, all sizes, window curtains, cell phones and telephone accessories, musical instruments, karaoke and Bluetooth speakers, portable radios and portable fans are now available. Get yours for your hurricane kit. Funky Tanks. For more information, call 949-0998.
Let me tell you something. I've been fishing our island since I was a boy, and it's getting harder and harder to get a good catch. Maybe it's because there are so many more people in Cayman than ever before. Maybe it's because of how the climate is changing. I don't know about that, but I do know that I want to be able to keep fishing and teach my children to fish one day as well. So it makes sense to me that we have certain areas and certain times of the year to fish for certain things. It feels unfair not to be allowed to fish where my dad taught me to fish, but I know that being patient now means we can keep fishing for many more generations. We're all in this together, right?
For more info, download the Cayman DOE app or visit doe.ky.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back. Thanks very much for joining us. And in the studio, as expected, as scheduled, the excellent company of James Jamo Miles from the Youth Services Unit. Hey, Jamo, I know it's only 24 hours in a day, man, but you seem to stretch it to 48 in one day.
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes it works out. Sometimes I just need two of me.
Yeah. Well, you think the world could take that?
I think so.
We could
I think
benefit
so.
from two of you, more like you for sure. And I say that because I know many of us recognize that you're constantly going and doing for the betterment of our youth, from one activity to the next. And thank you for that.
Yeah, I was actually hanging out with Coach Mita today and her fitness and more camp. Yeah. And I want to thank A.L. Thompson for allowing us to use a Sub-Zero kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
We did a demo on how to make Cayman coconut candy and swanky for them in camp. So we passing on what we know and trying to keep our traditions alive. And I want to thank everybody, Mr. Thompson, Crystal, and the whole team at A.L. Thompson for facilitating us, and for Coach Mita for thinking up of these great things of how to drop nuggets for young people and to inspire them. And to prepare them for the lemonade stand day.
Taste the sweetness of life.
Lemonade day is coming up, so they can get a chance to make some real money this summer.
And I think, as you referenced publicly, I think many recognize that Coach Mita is one of the other ones like yourselves who are always engaged in the community, from our sessions with our elderly in terms of fitness to partner with you for our youth. And that's what builds a healthy society. And that's what I think makes this discussion now on the Proud of the MO Youth Awards so timely. So thanks for facilitating that. Thanks for coming on board. And through you,
all right.
I mean, I was
I gotta let you know from now. Almost every time that I can come on your show, I gotta bring a beautiful young lady. Is that okay?
No, you just bring beautiful people. You bring beautiful people, man, and
That's
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. And they inspire us. So, well,
yes, with me today is I don't know if they say former Miss Teen. A very recent Proud of Them honoree, and her bill was in West Bay. Just because I want to see it. I have with me Miss Kiana Kelly, and she can tell you a little bit about how she feels as a recent honoree. She has the newest experience because she's from the very last round. How does it feel to be an honoree, a Proud of Them honoree?
Miss Kiana, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I don't know if you, because where you were sitting, whether you were able to hear it. And I want to say this to you while you're here. With such pride, I shared publicly that it offends me when people talk about, okay, man, time, and that's as if something is late.
Yes.
I'm not going to say that you're a young person, other than you're a bit younger than me, maybe 4 or 5 years younger than me. And yet, like our parents and our grandparents, our great-grandparents, they respect and value for time. You were seated and assembled long before now. And so that respect that we have for others and others' time, make sure that we, as best as possible, are on time. So thank you for that. That's who we are as a people.
No problem.
And I was honored.
And that's why I apologize for being late.
Okay.
No, you weren't late. You were here when you were okay.
No, man.
Okay, so who is Miss Kiana Kelly? What do you want? Jamo was sharing. What would you like to share with us about you?
So I am Kiana Kelly. I reside in West Bay, and as Jamo mentioned, I was Miss Teen First Runner-Up in 2022. I was just awarded the Proud of Them Awards, and there's nothing else I can describe it as feeling grateful and elated and extremely proud of myself. Every day as I'm coming to work or wherever I'm going, it's
take a leap, you get that pretty picture.
Yes, I cross my picture and it's my favorite good morning because it reminds me to go out there and be great, because that face, someone in the community is gonna recognize it today, and I have to be out there showing my best. And
Thank you, man. That inspires and motivates other people, but it also keeps you, as you shared, I don't want to say in check, but a reminder to be your best you.
Yeah,
right.
It does.
But I also want to ask for those who listen to recognize how important it is for us to appreciate. We give of our best.
Yes.
Always. Not when people are looking.
Yes.
In our minds, God's always looking, right?
Yes.
Boy, I'm glad that He's merciful, because
oh gosh, yes.
Just my thoughts these last couple of days, He was slapping me down for. But we do our best, and through us, others might take a page from our book.
Yeah, that is true. I always say that you want to put out into the world what you want to get back. And I think that's so important for me because, you know, what goes around comes around. So putting out your best every day, you know, it helps you receive the best back in return, you know?
True.
So.
Not true. But John, that's the thing, right? Sometimes we don't appreciate just what she shared. You know, Scripture talks about you praying for generations ahead of things to come, and that thing that you do might actually come back, not on you,
but on your children and grandchildren.
Yeah, and so would it be not better if that thing that came back was a good thing? I mean, so do good follows good, Mama says.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. I'm very mindful of the time. Want to be very respectful of you guys' time. We're going to have, thankfully, again through your offices, a number of other discussions scheduled to remind the people. But what is the Proud of Them Awards, Giovanni? Tell us about it, Jumbo.
It's a campaign that's driven by the Ministry responsible for youth. It features exceptional and talented young Caymanians who have impressive contributions to our society. It started 11 years ago because the narrative on young people was negative, and we said, no, we got to flip the script. We got far too many brilliant, talented, gifted young people and exceptional young people, for all we can hear is the negative about our youth. So we came up with 6 categories that they could be awarded in: academics, sports, culture, business, career, and community service. And those kind of broad subjects kind of encompass all of what makes a well-rounded individual. And we highlight them 15 each round now. We had 17 last time because we included 2 Rising Stars, and I'm hoping that we keep the Rising Star Awards. I'm saying this publicly even without the minister's feedback, but the more young people being recognized, the better.
Yeah.
We not gonna run out. I keep telling them that we not gonna run out.
Yeah.
Because there's more coming through that's being inspired by the pictures that they see. And trust me, a lot of them won't cross every morning, take a wink and say, yeah, po.
Yeah. And if you know, Ms. Cannon, if you would allow me to ask you, just like how you see that and you know, recognize what it means to you, others see as John was shared. But I don't know if enough of us appreciate how a sense of humility and humbling that is, and yet at the same time it kind of makes you feel conscious.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So it inspires, but then what else, you know, having that recognition does for us as a community, not just for you the individual, but for us as a community?
Well, as a community, you know, you're really highlighting young people and what they're doing and their accomplishments, you know, which is very important, not only for our younger generations, but for our older generations, because, you know, it gives them hope for the future. It gives them hope that, you know, tomorrow is bright. We have some brilliant young minds coming up. And, you know, it helps the public acknowledge the youth and their hard work. It's empowering other youth by being a positive role model, and it creates new networks for youth who obtain the award and can expand on their future opportunities.
And John, many times, even as adults, even as athletes, and even a particular sport, we can point to many, you know, and say, oh, I want to be like that. But it would be good to point to your own. Oh, that fella went to school, my mama.
Yes.
We can see here. So embracing who we are, our language, our culture, our heritage, even the colloquialisms, even the food. And thanks, by the way, for the cooking candy. just saying.
You don't get it, money. Cool it. Hey, hot. You want it hot? It got cool though. First, like cut it up.
You got it on a grape leaf cooling?
No.
See?
We got better. We got it in Sub-Zero kitchen freezer.
But having that recognition, so we can point to, we can actually, if we want, we can literally reach out and connect to that person, and not on some electronic device, but if necessary, person to person. What does that do for us? So we know the heroes elsewhere. You know, Travis talk about where your heroes West Indies, but we also know the role models that are next door.
Well, one of the great things about this conversation is that we have 2 Proud of Them honorees at the Olympics right now that we can watch our heroes on TV.
Yep.
We paused to watch Jordan Crooks yesterday, right? And he not got his billboard yet, you know.
Yeah.
So somebody need nominate him. Not true.
Yeah.
But Devontae Howell, you soon see him next week.
Yep. Yeah.
He's out proud of them already. His billboard's up right now.
Mm-hmm.
Jillian got hers when she was 14.
Mm-hmm.
When she set up all kind of crafter records.
Yep.
And Caribbean records at age 14.
That's right. And this is where I think we talked about yesterday, that
And
parental...
I'm confident she got medal.
Yeah.
She got medal.
I mean, she's still a teenager, as it were, right? And
she got 2 or 3 more events at the Olympics. She must can...
John, more through you, if I can ask Ms. Keller this, right?
Sure.
Sometimes we, that collective we in a community, will look at our young people. It could be the teen. It could be that person in her 20s. It could even be even in the 30s. And for some reason, business or it's politics or some other thing. And we look at a young person and we're not as embracing. God forgive me, but even sometimes we're dismissive. Oh, well, you know what you're talking about. You're too young, right? Yet, in my case, my father, but our forefathers, before they were even teens, they were on a catboat down Muscatine Keys.
So miles away with no compass.
Well, they had the stars.
That's it. Now you call skill.
So, Ms. Kelly, to you, what does that say about our society? What are your thoughts on that? I mean, what would you say to us? Hey, we're here, but Scripture says don't let them despise you because of your youth.
Anyone who knows me knows I'm always advocating for young people because I do believe that my generation is just a brilliant set of minds, and the way we're upcoming and the new advances we have in technology and stuff is just making us extend beyond our wildest imaginations and extend beyond all sorts of capabilities. And I don't think that anyone should count us out just yet. Like, we're gonna do big things. Big things are coming from my generation, and I'm guaranteeing you that. I'm guaranteeing you that you will see some great things happen for Cayman when my generation starts getting into those roles, like I can speak for Devontae. He's a very good friend of mine, and I've seen the hard work. I've seen the hard work he has put in, and I just know, like, with the mindset my generation is coming with in terms of sustainability, environmental and health, like infrastructure and development and sports and culture, my generation is going to do great things.
Well, I want to commend you for that passion and enthusiasm, but also just as a very conscious observer.
Yes.
Many had shared that your generation, maybe the ones just half a generation above you, so to speak, were willing to blindly follow or willing to accept. I thought differently. I like the fact that you guys are questioning, they're not accepting the indoctrination.
Yeah.
As I read some of the things, now we're going back to what the media, again, just me, has very, very deliberately and maliciously coined, dumb phones, because we had smartphones. What I see is you guys are saying, listen, I can think for myself, and I don't need you to tell me this nonsense. In fact, let me get rid of that because I have a brain. So I like that independence of thought. I like the fact that you're collective and in your efforts, you're individually willing to stand and be counted.
Yes.
That goes back to my parents' generation, right? That is what is so encouraging. So when I get to be older than Jamo,
that's a while away.
I have a healthy society.
Yes.
So thank you for that. Very much to you and your cohorts. Thank you.
Yes.
But Jamo, what do we do? I mean, let me reword. I'm so excited about this. We gotta take a break, sir. Hey. Yeah, I know. This happens.
Because I could tell everybody I'm going to nominate some young person.
Okay, well, when we come back, we'll tell them about it.
Yeah, because the nomination period could be opening soon.
Soon. So please join us right after the break.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Summer's heating up, and so are the good times.
Whether you are out on the water, enjoying the beach, or gathering with colleagues for an office bash, make it a feast to remember with Subway. From assorted sandwich platters to mouth-watering cookies, our catering menu has something for everyone. Perfect for groups of 5 or more. For food that's fresh, fast, and perfect for any occasion, choose Subway Catering. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
You deserve a unique vacation this year, one with easy non-stop flights from Cayman. Cayman Airways offers more non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline. Now you can add Panama and Los Angeles to your travel bucket list. Skip the hassle of connecting flights. Panama is just a 2-hour non-stop flight from Cayman. And Los Angeles? Get there in less than 5 hours non-stop aboard Cayman Airways. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Los Angeles or Panama getaway today.
The offices of dermatologist Dr. Wayne Porter will be taking appointments August 15th to the 20th at his Crew Road Clinic. Appointment slots are limited whether you're seeking advanced skin care, Botox, filler, cosmetic skin enhancements, or simply looking to reduce wrinkles. Dr. Wayne Porter offers a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. For more information, email drporterkman@gmail.com. That's drporterkman@gmail.com. Call 946-9020 to book your appointment today. That's 946-9020.
The Ministry of Education and the Passport and Corporate Services Office remind all students traveling to and from school overseas to ensure their passports are valid for both travel and entry into their destination country. Passports should be renewed at least 10 weeks before departure, and any necessary student visas must be obtained. For passport services, contact the Passport and Corporate Services Office at 649-7678. For Ministry of Education scholarship inquiries, contact scholarships@gov.ky. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Education and the Passport and Corporate Services Office.
Witness the elegance of the Miss Universe Cayman Islands 2024 contestants as they embark on a captivating motorcade through our beloved Cayman Islands. August 3rd, the motorcade starts at 9 a.m. at the Turtle Center in West Bay, followed by stops at 7 Mile Beach, Georgetown Library, and Pedro Castle, where they have lunch at Thatch and Barrel. Come together as a community to uplift and cheer for these remarkable young women. Don't miss the chance to be part of the magic. Mark your calendars for August 3rd and be there to show your love and encouragement. Let's make this motorcade a day they'll never forget.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back. Thanks for joining us. And, a few minutes of this discussion remains. After the headline news at 1, the Honorable Tourism Minister will join us and we'll talk in our discussion. But I think, he would say just honored to be able to talk about the Proud of Them Youth Awards. Jamo, together with Ms. Kiana Kelly. Thanks. So we know the awards nomination process opens soon.
Yes, it opens on International Youth Day, which is August 12th, and the period closes on September 6th. So you have between August 12th and September 6th to nominate a deserving young person aged 10, between the ages of 10 and 25 for the maximum 2 categories. And out of the 6 categories, which is academic, sports, culture, business, career, and community service. I think that's about it. If you have young person in mind already, you can give them a heads up to start to gathering all the evidence of their achievements. So it makes it really easy for them when they get their email saying, please provide evidence of your business achievements. You already have it, turn it in, so we can give you a billboard.
Okay.
At least.
So someone can only nominate a young person, as you said, 10 to 25 years is the age range.
Right.
For 2 of the 6 categories.
Up to 2 of the 6 categories.
You can nominate them for 1, you can nominate them for 2, but no more.
Right.
But can that person who is doing the nomination, can that person nominate
more than one person?
More than one person.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Anybody can nominate it. You can even nominate yourself.
Okay.
Yeah. That way you have all evidence.
And do you need in sort of Robert's Rules of Order, when you're having, like in the Legislative Assembly, you want to bring a motion, you need a sponsor, you also need a seconder.
Yeah, you need references to concur.
So in this case, all right, so you're nominating someone, you need to get someone else, and then, all right, tell us more.
So anyone in the community can nominate any young person, or I should say any young Caymanian between the age of 10 and 25.
All right. Caymanian.
Yes.
So someone, and I'm not trying to be disparaging, just want absolute clarity.
If you have status, you're Caymanian.
No, thank you. But I agree with you, and that's just the way it is, right? But someone who is here, whose parents may have work permit or PR, but they don't have status, they're not Caymanian by whatever the law or otherwise, is that young person eligible?
No, not right now.
Okay.
The ministry has made a stance to make sure that young Caymanians are recognized. And that's what we're going with.
My understanding, and this just an aside, that's how almost every country is. There are things for its citizens.
It's citizens, right?
We are not a country apparently, so we don't have citizens, we have subjects.
And residents.
And that's nothing. But Miss Kelly, you want to share, Mom?
I'm just going to make mention of some examples of the types of achievements and qualities that make young persons eligible for nomination. So we're looking at academic excellence, so high academic achievement, community service, active involvement in our communities, leadership skills, demonstrating leadership qualities through, school roles, sports teams, student government, things and such, entrepreneurship. So initiating and successfully managing a business, artistic talents, athletic achievements, cultural preservation, mentorship, and excellence in a specific field. We're looking for all ranges of excellence from our young people.
Yeah. A rising tide floats all ships, Jamo. And I like when you share that we have so many young people that if we are highlighting, embracing, supporting, nurturing, then we all look around and go, that's another one.
Yes.
We see more of the good, and that's good for the community. And I like that. And I mean, I'm still reeling from yesterday's discussion. I'm so inspired by that enthusiasm.
Yes.
Anyway.
So we get you back-to-back days.
Thank you. All right, so we know it opens very shortly. There's always, as you said, closing period, right? So don't sneeze and it'll be gone.
That's right. Yes, it opens on August 12th, which is not far from now. So if you have young people in mind, you can probably start to let them know, I want to nominate you for them billboards. I want to nominate you for community service. So if you have any pictures of you doing anything, you have any community service logs from your school or whatever to see how much community service you do.
You don't want to be running on Cayman time with these nominations.
No, because the selection process comes after that, and that's a short window too.
Yes.
And if we don't have the evidence, we can say, well, there's no evidence to prove that this child did this or this or this or this.
You want that support and
sort of documentation stuff. So when we do put you up on the billboard, nobody can question that. You want FOI? Not a problem. We show you all the good that this child did. Now that's why we give her or him a billboard.
Okay. So from the 12th, and it closes on the 6th.
Yes.
Get it in. And how do you? I like pen and paper, literally. Pencil preferably, but
since COVID, we went everything online.
Okay.
Most people are online. You can you can nominate through our website, which is www.youthservices.ky. Click on the button that says proud of them, and then there'll be a button that says nominate. You just click on the nominate button when it's time to nominate, which is August 12th.
Okay. And I'm hoping that we will, as the parent, show that proud sort of parental.
We're expecting record nominations this year.
Yeah.
We usually have around 100. I'm thinking this summer, 150, 175. You got a lot of young people doing great stuff.
I've seen the billboards. I know there's been an increase in numbers, but like I tell everybody, you go into the good football match, the stadium can only hold so many.
Right.
You're invited to the dinner table. It may be 80 people. It might only be 8. Is there like a number? I mean, is there a limit on the number of people who can be selected? Not on nominations, but selection.
Yeah, we only got 15 billboards.
15.
Yeah, so you can only have 15.
Okay.
Well, now if the ministry want to change that, we can find spaces for more billboards.
But right now, unlimited nominations, but selection is limited to 15.
15, right. And I'm hoping that the ministry will continue with the Rising Star Awards, which is those who place 16th and 17th place. And that they also be recognized. They won't get the level of recognition the top 15 scores will get. But for a lot of them, they missed the mark by like 1 point.
Yeah.
Half of a point and things like that.
I think
So
the
it's
Rising Stars are still very inspiring to young people. And,
their stories are very impressive.
Yeah.
It just shows you how sometimes when these events unfold, as it were, it causes, iron sharpens iron. It causes people to recognize. The best football match sometimes ends in a 1-0 victory.
Yeah.
Right? You still didn't win in terms of the 3 points, but you didn't lose either in terms of it was a quality, well-fought match.
Yeah.
Right? I know we just seconds away until another discussion in another week, but Jambo, what else you want to share with us?
If you have any questions, email us at info.ysu@gov.ky or give us a call at 943-1127. There's someone willing to answer any questions about youth, any questions about Proud of Them Awards. We look forward to your nominations to start rolling in on little after midnight on August the 11th. So August the 12th, as young as it can be, we look forward to them rolling in. If you have a young person in mind, start to let them know from now so the nominations could be completed as soon as possible, because the process is completed when the nomination is in and the evidence for the nomination is supplied. And there we go.
Right. Well, I know John.
Don't worry about nominating 6 and 7, 8. Nominate them. All right. And don't think that somebody else could do it either, because everybody know what she's doing. Somebody can nominate her, and if everybody do that, she don't get nominated.
Right.
So you do it.
But
I've seen it happen with Jordan Crooks.
I was going to just say, I know you were going to agree with me that if Miss Kelly wishes to have the final word, we offer it to you.
Yes.
Well, I just want to say, Cayman, please nominate anyone you think is deserving of this award, because you may never know. I believe everyone deserves a chance at their recognition and their time to shine. So that's all from me.
All right. Thanks very much. Looking for our subsequent discussions, Jambo. And when I cook the candy cool, bring some cross for normal. Not for me. All right. We're going to pause. After the headline news, the Honorable Tourism Minister will be our guest. Please stay tuned.
Radio station. Radio Cayman is the voice of the Cayman Islands. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The headline news is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
Fire officers attend the 12th IRF Caribbean Regional Congress in Puerto Rico as part of the effort to reduce road accidents and fatalities. In a social media post, the Cayman Islands Fire Service says the aim is to analyze various methodologies and discuss with the National Roads Authority. In international headlines, Delta's CEO says the CrowdStrike global tech outage could cost the airline approximately $500 million in costs, from lost revenue to compensation for displaced travelers. Delta had to cancel thousands of flights due to the outage. On CNBC, the CEO says it would be seeking damages. Hugh Edwards, once one of the BBC's most senior news presenters, has pleaded guilty to 3 counts of making indecent images of children. In court, he admitted to having 41 indecent images of children which had been sent to him by another man on WhatsApp. Those images included 7 Category A images, the most serious classification, 2 of which showed a child between the ages of 7 and 9. Until last year, Edwards was one of the main presenters on BBC One's News at 10 and often fronted coverage of major national events. The BBC said it was shocked to hear the details which emerged in court today. Those are your headlines. I'm April Cummings.
More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
The Health Services Authority will be hosting a town hall session at 6 p.m. on Wednesday, July 31st at the Bodentown Health Center. Join the discussion on introducing additional services to meet the needs of the community and our future expansion plans for the Bodentown Health Center. Remember, at HSA, we remain committed to caring for you. Visit hsa.ky for more details.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
Born in Watering Place, Caymanbrac, on the 8th day of July, 1936, Captain Fred Elman Scott was the fifth child born to Nalio and Vera Scott. Not only did Captain Scott work the seas for over 52 years, but he was mathematically inclined. In the early 70s, Captain Scott received his first calculator, eventually moving on to computers. After retiring from sea, Captain Scott used his knowledge of navigation, his love for mathematics, and general knowledge to write various computer programs that would impact the lives of the people of the Cayman Islands, such as payroll calculation and a program that could tell the depths at any point of the Georgetown Harbor, which would allow him to give any ship in port the coordinates to drop anchor. However, his pride and joy was his weather program that could detect when a storm formed anywhere in the world, and was able to track and forecast its path. To create this program, he first drew the world map by using actual coordinates from the various coastlines around the world, including the most minute coves. This information would be transmitted by his shipping mates from around the world, making him the local reliable source on storm predictions.
Discover your dream home with Cayman National's Home Loan. Get up to 95% financing, repayment up to 40 years, and just a 0.5% commitment fee. Your interest rate? Depending on your risk factors, it'll be fixed or variable. Plus, you get a pre-approved credit card. This is a limited time offer. Dial 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
The rich flavors of Italy just arrived at Subway. Say ciao to the Italianos. Our 3 new Subway series recipes, carefully crafted with an Italian flair. Try the Hot Shot Italiano for an enticing and zesty touch. The tastier than ever Ultimate BMT, generously stuffed with a mix of ham, pepperoni, and salami. Or go all in with the creamy chicken bacon Alfredo. New Subway series Italianos. Chef-crafted greatness in every bite. Elevate your game only at Subway. Delizioso.
Work's new jobs and online payment services is officially live. Experience a more user-friendly site with easier navigation and enhanced features. Job seekers can now explore additional features tailored to their needs. Employers can benefit from a streamlined process for managing job posts and applications. Online payments are now a breeze. Discover more at worc.ky or call us at 945-9672.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome and thanks very much for joining us. And that semblance, and I say this so that we as a people recognize how important it is to show that respect, not only to our history and heritage, but for people who subscribe to it, and by example, lived it. When they said, Cayman time as an inference to be late, you should tell them, no, you're not talking about my people, because like the young lady earlier, like our chief officer and honorable minister and team, they were here long before the scheduled point. So Cayman time means you were on time. Honorable Minister of Tourism, you will please forgive me. I will do as you ask and do my very best to refer to you as you wish. But you, like me, were raised with a little bit of manners, and so we respect the person. We also respect the position. So good afternoon, sir. And I'll try not to say that again after this.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Mr. Sterling. And thank you so much to the listening audience who is here out there in Radio Land. It's a pleasure and an honor to speak with you and represent you and everything that I do. Today we are here, and just to give context so nobody calls Mr. Sterling out, I don't like the whole title thing of the Honorable Minister and all that, so I gave him full permission to just call me Kenneth, because I like that better. And the sir makes me feel like I'm getting older, and I'm going to stay at the tender age of 32. I don't want to go no further than that, even though I'm 44, but I'm 32.
I'm 28.
Right? You're 28. So today we're here to talk about a very important topic, and I hope that everybody who's listening pay close attention, because I need. We're talking about the infrastructure of the future that will affect our great-grandchildren, great-great-great-grandchildren, because this is me starting a 4x1, as I use the example, and this is the first 100 meters of a 4x1 race. And hopefully the first stages of a very important redevelopment of the cargo facility in the Cayman Islands. In the studio I have with me my Honorable Chief Officer, Strand Borden, who is an amazing Chief Officer and a good friend. We built a great relationship over the years. He's going to help support me in the analysis as we outline what we're trying to do. We're going to be talking about a public meeting that's happening tonight with a independent group that has been hired by the Port Authority to carry out the analysis of an outline business case for the future of cargo facilities. And I also have an amazing young man, and I say young because he's the same age as me, in the studio, Mr. Quincy Brown. And the reason why I've asked him to come along is because he has a way of with words and asking, and this was just right off the cuff. I just saw him just now and asked him to come along to say, while we put this information out, what kind of questions would naturally come to him? Because I get a feel of what the public would also say. So while the listening audience is in, I am wary of time, so I'll just get straight into it. Today we're here to talk about the Cargo Port Redevelopment Project. And there's been a group by the name of Stantec and KPMG have partnered together by independently procurement to help facilitate what government has agreed to last year for a strategic outline business case, which was done by the Port Authority of the Cayman Islands. So what is a strategic outline business case and what is it about? It is basically a report to examine the ability of the infrastructure that we have at our ports while we import goods and serve foods and all the materials we use to build our houses, our aggregate, and all of these other things that we use. We know we're surrounded by water and we don't produce anything. So the Port Authority has to be mindful of its ability with the growing components of our population and our society. Now, most of you may know that the current location was built by Mr. Berkeley Bush and that administration some 29 years ago. And we're with our population over 82,000 right now, and that was the last registered figure, and I'm almost certain it's about 90,000 by now. And within the next 3 years, possibly easily over 100,000. I know some people are not happy with that, but that's the reality. And with a number of persons here and the growth in our development, importation will continue. So the projections are that we'll surpass the life of the ability of the current cargo options. And this is what was proposed to me as minister and to our government in the strategic outline case that I brought to the government. And the government says, okay, well, if this is as severe as it is, we can't wait till, 7 to 10 years from now when we can no longer bring out any imports. Let's go ahead and do an outline business case with an independent body, because obviously the Port Authority has a vested interest in itself, have an independent group. So that independent group, as I said before, is a group with in partnership with KPMG in Stantec. And anytime, CEO, if you think I'm going off track in my information, please chime in. I'm just going off the top of my head at this point. They have been hired to come and give an independent analysis on what is the best way forward. They're obligated by law to do public consultation with their analysis that goes over pricing, location, environmental impact concerns, infrastructure, what we can do and so forth. And they're at their almost the last leg of that analysis and that report to present to government, whereas the public consultation on the options they have looked at across the island on what's the best way forward, whether we continue to expand at the current location or we find a brand new location. Obviously, the current location has limitations as it shares its space with cruise passengers during the day and cargo operations during the night. So this independent group is going to be doing the legally obligated public consultation with Grand Cayman, because it's not the cargo facility in Little Cayman or Cayman Brac, so it's mainly for Grand Cayman. We're having 2 meetings. The first meeting is tonight. It's at 6:30 to 9 p.m. And it's the location, what we call the vault. And I know many of you may not know where the vault is because that's the new name they're giving it, but it's basically the Compass Center location. It's upstairs and downstairs. Down at the bottom floor, they've turned that into basically like a town hall setting where you can come in. There's a stage set up and the panel will be there. You can come in and here they present and show you the options for the locations that they will potentially propose to government. Now, the proposals to government will be considered on a number of factors: costing, location, environmental concerns, population growth, and all that, but also public consultation. So this last part now is what is the people's view on this? Mm-hmm. And then after they've considered all of that, they'll put that together and then give a recommendation to me as minister that I will take to cabinet to say, here's what they recommend that we do. Do we agree with that or not? So it's a very important process, and the most important process in my mind is the people's view. So that's why I want as many people to come out tonight as possible. We've been doing ads. Hopefully this is not the first time you're hearing this and you've planned for tonight. I know people have their families and so forth, but this is essential. The first meeting tonight deals with more West Bay and Georgetown area. The second meeting is tomorrow night, Thursday, and the location will be at the Church of God Chapel in Bordentown, which we hope to deal with the residents of Bordentown, East End, and North Side to come and give their views at that location. That meeting also starts at 6:30 to 9 p.m. I will be there. I will not be involved in the panel discussion because the group has to do it independently because they report back to me, then me back to the cabinet as to those recommendations. But I'm going to show my face because it's essential that people know that we want the public to come out and I can hear the people's views myself outside of the report that they are eventually going to give to me. So I want to encourage everybody. The future of our cargo infrastructure of this country is now being assessed. And I want that assessment to be done with your considerations in mind. Now, these are private, hired, procured company that has the specialty in their engineering and all the business models and so forth. KPMG will be dealing with the money and the funding and all those kinds of different things, while the Stantec group is water engineers, building infrastructure and locations and water, land, all of those things. So they'll give you the specs and the science behind why they've suggested these locations. That's what they're there for. So you can ask all the questions you want. Why did you do this? Why is it located there? And which one is better than the other? And all of these things. It's for you to ask those questions to them, because I expect those views on your behalf to be highlighted in their report to factor in any one option. I've had an opportunity to have a basic preview of the many different locations, and I'm interested to hear what the people are going to think about those locations, because there's different factors you've got to consider: environmental, financial, the longevity of it, what the difference between a new location and redeveloping the current location. All of these factors, throw the questions out as much as you can. I'll be doing a lot of listening. I'll be there tonight to open the discussion or introduce the panel, and then I'll sit in the crowd with my people to listen. So that's what this is about today, and it's about again, for those who may have just chimed in, this is about the Cargo Port Redevelopment Project report that the government has to consider. And the most important part of that consideration is you, the people's viewpoint. We will be airing it on YouTube for those who may not be able to come in person. It will also be on the government TV channels, but you obviously can't give a comment through that perspective. It will also be on the ministry's Facebook page, and you can send in questions there. There's also an option whereby you can send in questions on, what's it called? Slido. Forgive me. Slido. Or Speedo. I'm just kidding. It's Slido. It is an app. It's a platform upon which you can tune in and send questions, and those questions could be put to the panelists. But I would really like people to be there in person, right? Because it's always better in person so people can see. There's so many things you get to feel and see, the public's reactions, the person, whether they're scrunching up their face or they're happy, or, you know what I mean? There's so much things you get from being in person. So if you can come, please do come. But if you can't, listen so you can know what's going on. Go on to the YouTube channel, go on to the Facebook page, and tune in and listen, because it's very, very important. As I said in my opening remarks, this is a 4x4 race. This is the first leg of a very important race by which the infrastructure of the future, obviously this administration is not going to be the one to carry it out. It probably will be continued on from the next administration. So I'm doing my part as a minister to say I'm carrying the baton for the first part, getting all the technocrats to do the strategic outline case. We did that according to law, went to cabinet, approved. Now we're doing the outline business case where the public consultation is in, financial, environment, all those factors are considered. And hopefully this government can decide to say, this is the location we think the country should decide after consultation with them. And hopefully the next administration will put a priority to move it forward. Because as I said before, the lifespan of the current cargo facility and options is about 7 to 10 years. In order to do an infrastructure such as this for the future, it's going to take about 10 years to develop it, from the outlining of the location, to getting the funding done, to do the environmental impact assessments, and then the development of it, which will take many years to do. So by the time we get to that capacity component, we can no longer use the current location. We will be ready to transition into the future with a more advanced approach to our importation with the infrastructure that we have. So that's a bit of everything in a nutshell, and I want the public to come out. Please, I'm begging you, come to this. Or if not, if you can't make it, at the very least, go to the YouTube channel or the Facebook channel or SIG TV channels if you have cable, and watch what is being said, because it's very important. I know Radio Cayman is not airing tonight. Unfortunately, there's another registered thing to be done by Radio Cayman, but Radio Cayman will be airing tomorrow's night meeting, which will be a repeat of what will be said tonight. But you don't get to hear the comments of the people from the Georgetown West Bay side of things. Tonight you'll hear the responses from the Bordentown and East End and North Side areas. So I encourage everybody, the MPs who are from West Bay and Georgetown, regardless of whether it's government or in opposition, come out and have your voice be heard, because some of your constituents may not be able to come there, but you'll hear the things that factor into them. I'm saying a whole lot. I know we probably going to have to go to a break real quick, but I want to give
6 minutes and 9 seconds.
All right. Giving you a bit of a summary of everything. And again, the meeting is tonight, Wednesday the 31st at 6:30 to 9 p.m. at the Compass Center on the ground floor, which is 319 Shedden Road, Georgetown. And everybody from West Bay and Georgetown, this is your time to come and get your say. There's only one disappointment that I have, that is on Wednesday, because I know a lot of people go to church, and please, I beg you to forgive me, but we're competing with time restraints as well as availability for this company where their specialists fly down. They're flying to the Cayman Islands to speak to you in person, because much of their research and the technical things that they have to do for that report it don't have to be done here in the Cayman Islands. They've been coming back and forth over the last few months, assessing locations. We have a team on the ground here, but the specialists from the financing, the KPMG as well as Stantec, and their engineers have been going back and forth. So they are here in the Cayman Islands specifically for this. So there's not going to be another major opportunity until after we've selected a location that you'll see that they may be able to give more questions and answers again. So I encourage you, please, to come out tonight. CEO, I covered a whole lot there. Do you think you want to add anything before we go to the break on that?
I think you covered it, sir.
Well, before we do that, Honorable Minister, if I may then ask, just for clarity, you referenced the word location, and I wanted to just clarify. We're talking about the location of the present CDC, the Cargo Distribution Center, or the present port in town, or both?
Great question. Do you want to tap that, or you want me to do it? I can happily do it. Okay, so after we get back from the break, I want to throw to Quincy, but I'm going to answer your question real quickly. The current location we have is obviously the pier or the cargo options we have now. Goods are imported there and then transitioned to the CDC. Now, so we have a very unique situation. In most other jurisdictions, you have everything in one location. And we had to obviously ad hocly go with the growth of our country. As I said, this was started 29 years ago. The last time it was expanded under the Mr. Berkeley Bush. Is it 29? I think it's longer than that, actually. 1977. My apologies. 29 years ago was when the CDC location was created as a result of the growth. So you can tell that we were ad hocly adding on as we go, rather than if we had decided from back then to say, obviously, we're growing and predicted what it would be like in 2024, we could have done this transition before. So one of the constraints that I see automatically, that I had to leave it to the specialist to make that decision, because I'm not a specialist in this area, but the location in Industrial Park don't have much other places to grow to.
So potentially looking at maybe moving that as well. Means the location, we're also looking at potentially what would be the impact and implications of keeping on Portland Drive, right?
Yes, on Portland Drive.
Portland Drive location for the Cargo Distribution Center, whether keep it there or move it. And is that also in relation to the port in Hawkesbury Bay, that location, or moving it? Is it both? That's what I just want to clarify.
Well, that's what the report is about tonight.
Yeah, to know
what did the specialists suggest are the best options for that. It's not for me to dictate that. I have to hear the advice from the technocrats who are independently hired to give that advice to us. And they have to say why we shouldn't do these type of things, or why we should do these type of things. Now, what I was saying is that the current location, regardless, it depends on the decision. Like hypothetically speaking, if they said we're going to move the whole operation to West Bay, right? That means government, the Port Authority as an authority, will own the assets of the current port and the distribution center. What would we continue to do with that if you're moving the whole operations there? And that's way down the road.
Right.
I don't know if they're going to present an option to say keep the CBC but don't have a pier downtown, or keep the pier downtown but have a different distribution center. It's totally up to them to say, listen, what our concern is that at our current projection rate, which they've used an even more conservative projection rate than normal, which I'm worried about, they have suggested that we're going to need a larger space, and I don't think the current location is going to cut it. So there's a high probability that it's going to say you have to move. And if we don't move from the current location, we can do what I consider kicking the can down the road type of approach, which is upgrade a little bit here and then leave it to our grandchildren, not even our great-grandchildren, our grandchildren that are probably already born, to have to deal with this headache in 10, 15 years. So again, but that's my opinion. That's why we hire specialists. Tell me the facts, give me the data, show me the report that everybody can see it. Now, the synopsis of where we started from, which is the strategic outline case, is currently on the government website for those who may want to ever see this. And this is where it was started from, independently within the Port Authority. And this strategic outline business case is on the Ministry of Tourism and Ports website for publication. You can go through it. It gives us a synopsis, and most people may remember, if you were in tune with following what was happening with the port, there was a suggestion by the then acting deputy acting port director, what's his name, Woody, Mr. Joseph Woods, which is a very intelligent person, I must say. I've had many conversations with him, and he's the one that started the foundation of this, and they completed it after his retirement. And then this strategic outline case came to government. We accepted it, but then you can't just do it by a person who may not have the technical skill sets to do so, but also don't have the technical skill sets to talk about the financial implications and think about the population growth and other factors outside of just port development itself. So once they did that report, which suggested to the eastern districts, that'll give you a good idea of the basis upon which the outline business case, technocrats, Stantec and KPMG, that this is the foundation where they started from, to say, okay, I'll examine and review your document, use all the specialities that we have in our skill set, in our tool pocket, to see whether your assessment plus our skill sets come to the same conclusion, and then with the public consultation, make a recommendation to government as to the future of infrastructure for port and cargo and importation into the country, what it should look like. And then the government will present that back to the people. But you have to have the people's viewpoint. I want those old sailors who went there off the sea to come down to the meeting and say, you can't do that down there because X, Y, and Z. I want the persons who think about financing to say, well, how are you going to pay for it? I want all of those questions to be thrown out, because I want them to reflect that in that report, so we can have the best filtered option as possible for myself and my colleagues to consider, that we can say this is the best choice for the future of this country. So that's what this meeting is about tonight.
All right. Honorable Minister, respectfully to the Chief Officer, we'll do that break now. We'll come back and have you and Mr. Brown join us in a discussion. Please stay tuned. Quick reminder, exit at 2 p.m. today, just a tad early.
Summer's heating up, and so are the good times. Whether you are out on the water, enjoying the beach, or gathering with colleagues for an office bash, make it a feast to remember with Subway. From assorted sandwich platters to mouth-watering cookies, our catering menu has something for everyone. Perfect for groups of 5 or more. For food that's fresh, fast, and perfect for any occasion, choose Subway Catering. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
You deserve a unique vacation this year, one with easy non-stop flights from Cayman. Cayman Airways offers more non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline. Now you can add Panama and Los Angeles to your travel bucket list. Skip the hassle of connecting flights. Panama is just a 2-hour non-stop flight from Cayman. And Los Angeles? Get there in less than 5 hours non-stop aboard Cayman Airways. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Los Angeles or Panama getaway today.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
There you go, sir. Thanks for choosing JN Money Transfer.
Boy, thanks to JN Money Transfer, I can stay right here in Cayman and pay mama bills back home in Jamaica. Her water, light, phone, and other bills never late. Every month I pay everything in one place.
Make payments to over 30 companies in Jamaica through JN Money Transfer. Fast, affordable, convenient. Call 1-800-744-1163 for details.
On behalf of the Port Authority of the Cayman Islands, the Ministry of the Ports is hosting 2 public consultations to examine the options for the future expansion of the cargo port. This is your chance to share your views and shape our island's future. Make sure you join them tonight at the Vault, which is located at the Compass Center, for those of you who don't know. And again tomorrow, Thursday, August 1st, at the Church of God Chapel in Bordentown. Once again, both meetings will take place at 6:30 p.m. If you can't make it, no worries. You can participate through the online survey, which you can access on the ministry's government page, or tune in to live on Facebook as well. Once again, your voice matters. Be part of the conversation and help build the future for our Cayman Islands. For more details, Visit gov.ky/tourism/tourism transport for a future or follow the Ministry of Tourism Ports on Facebook page.
Homeowners, protecting your family and property is crucial during the season, and you should always assess insurance needs long before a storm makes landfall. Most insurers won't issue new policies or increases when a storm is imminent. Cayman Insurance Center's team of professionals can help owners like you find the most comprehensive coverage and competitive rates. Call the insurance professionals at Cayman Insurance Center 949-4657 or email info@cic.com.ky. Don't take chances with your family's future or your valuable assets. Call Cayman Insurance Center's insurance professionals today at 949-4657.
Radio Cayman News.
Swimming star Jordan Crooks is one step closer to medaling at the 2024 Summer Olympics.
Hopefully I can sharpen it up for tonight.
Also competing today was Jordan's sister Jillian Crooks, who made her second Olympic appearance this morning.
Going back on that time, I'm pretty happy with it.
Radio Cayman. Your voice, your choice for today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back and thanks for joining us. And to Kenneth Bryan, the Minister for Tourism and Ports. Notice I didn't say Mr. Yes.
Thank you very much.
And now, Chief Officer Strand Borden, is that okay to say that? And then, Mr. Quincy Brown? Yeah, he's here, that's good. Chief Officer, the Honorable Minister.
It's okay.
Okay, my mama raised me back. Shared, in relation to the public's invitation and participation at the meetings, but through you, share with us, from that side of the coin, whatever you wish.
Thank you, sir, and good afternoon to everyone. So, as Minister has said, this is a very crucial opportunity for the public to come out to share their views, to hear more information about the work we've been doing on the outline business case for the cargo port expansion. So, we've known for a long time, as Minister has said, that between the Georgetown cargo port facility on the waterfront and the central distribution center, that both properties have the country has outgrown them, essentially. There's going to be a need in the distant future whereby we will need much more infrastructure to deal with the imports that are coming in. The fact of the matter that we have, as Minister has said, 2 locations, which is not typical. So we have a port and an inland port, typically it's called, or central distribution center is what we call it. That is in itself in existence because of capacity constraints. So if you think about the waterfront, I mean that is constrained on both sides, and then there's water, obviously. So that couldn't last very long. Then we had to look to an inland port, the central distribution center. So
sorry, you said central, and I always call it cargo distribution center. Is there synonymous, or there's significant difference between saying central versus cargo?
It's no difference. Cargo distribution center, central distribution. I mean, is where okay. we take the cargo to distribute it to the customers, right? Okay. So it's either one.
Okay.
So you can call it whatever you feel like, really. The cargo distribution center in the inland, that had to come about because the constraints on the waterfront. Yeah. So that now is in itself coming to a capacity as well. So you would have noted that in recent times we've had the cranes there, the RTGs, the rubber tire gantry cranes, in order to pack the containers closer together because, again, of space constraints. So we've had to employ that. We're coming now to a time where not even that is going to allow us to be able to process goods in a timely manner, because what we're seeing, so a port becomes ineffective when it's depending on the volume of imports, right? So we will still have the ability to bring in the imports, but what we'll start to have is potentially vessels waiting offshore because of the amount of imports that are coming, because we don't have the capacity to take the number of vessels that are coming, right? So, and then that adds a cost to imports. So that's what we're staring down at. Then where are we going to put those imports in order to distribute them, because at the cargo distribution center, that is, again, a capacity constraint. So what we are looking at now is a location where we can have both, and that there's ability for growth in the future.
Yes.
That's the key, as Minister has said, that we're looking down the road. We can't just look at, what will next 5 to 7 years. We're looking down a road where Cayman will be in terms of its growth and what capacity we'll need then for imports to be able to come into the country to be distributed to the residents. And that's what we're looking at.
And after I say this, I want to allow Quincy a chance to ask a question that naturally comes in, because this is fresh to him now, and he would be like a listener being able to pose a question, right? But we're not going to be talking about the pros and the cons, because my job at this point is not to be in favor or against anything, because the independent specialists have been hired to do their technical assessments and give their recommendations. And within those recommendations, they have to, from a professional capacity and a technical capacity, look at the pros and cons outside the biases of the political component and the policy component of any administration or thereof. Because you recognize that some people are going to be like, okay, we don't want to have the environmental components of a brand new location. Some people say, well, they got to stay in town. Some people say, I want it out of town altogether. So we're keeping that away from it. What this topic is about today is I want you, the Caymanians out there, to give your input. That's what the public consultation component is all about. And that's what this meeting is for. So you come and critique what they're saying and why. So, Mr. Specialist, you say you want to do this location. Why that? You think about this or you think about that? So you drill down into that, because I know I want to hear that when they give me that big 50-page report that I have to examine and bring to cabinet for us to consider, that they have taken in the thought processes of all our community, whether it be social, economical, business, community, what all of these elements, the historical components of our locations, what our our islands vegetation looks like, where the safe harbors are or they're not, and all of these types of things, you bring them up and you put the question, because I want to know that they all have been factored, because I don't want to report afterwards that haven't factored in something substantial that would have made the decision for the location to be different. You see what I'm saying? Quincy, what are your thoughts?
Well, good afternoon, Minister Bryan. Good afternoon, Chief Officer Bodden, Mr. Moderator, Mr. Ebanks, and by extension, all your listeners here on Radio Cayman. It has been quite serendipitous for me to walk by Radio Cayman this afternoon, in that I ran into the minister, who said, be my guest. Be my guest.
Be my guest. Be my
I should like to first and foremost say that the minister has always listened to the people.
Yeah.
Even when he was a representative, he is genuinely concerned. What does the people have to say? Which is very important. Mr. Bodden, it's good to see you. It's been a long time. Remember those days?
Yes, sir.
Support our port. Support our tourism. But
different type of port this time.
This is
sir.
cargo. This is about food.
Just want to say that.
Absolutely. And not to put you in a spot, dear Chief Officer, it's just to inject some jest here, I suppose. If that's okay. As someone who has been listening and learning for the past, I want to say half hour. How long have we been here? Half an hour? I am learning. 40 minutes. I've been learning, and I still have a lot more to learn. So I have to be very careful here how I structure my questions. But I would like to know, if possible, how much has it cost the purse so far in these exercises, these impact assessment or environment assessment plans, etc., etc. They can be quite costly.
Okay, well, while you think about the next question, let me try to answer that right away. The truth is, it hasn't cost us anything outside of the costing to pay the specialist to do the examination. So that's where we're at right now, because the SOC, which is a strategic outline case, was done internally within the technical expertise within the Port Authority. And if you, as I said before, if you go on to the ministry's website, this report was done by Mr. Joseph Wood, who was the former acting director. So it was done internally. So there's no cost per se to that, outside the printing of the paper itself and the time for them on the job.
Right.
But so once that was approved and government agreed to do an outline business case, then this firm was hired. And I can't remember, what was the total cost for the firm to do the report? I can't remember. I off the top of my head. So, but it's
less than
no.
million?
We've definitely left it less than. I think it's
just for clarity. This is the consultants.
This is the consultants themselves.
Okay.
So we haven't gotten into the play of cost of environmental impacts. You don't do that until you know where you're going to go.
Okay.
You don't know what the cost is going to be because you have to decide a decision on the location. That's why I said to you in my opening remarks, this is a 4x1 race, and this is the first leg. And I'm carrying the baton. Hopefully, I'm going to be carrying it to myself in the second 100. but regardless, the race has to be run, right? So we haven't gotten into the cost component to the country yet. This is the preliminary work. As everybody knows, any major infrastructure in the Cayman Islands, no matter what it is, takes a very long time and usually never being able to be completed within any one administration, because administrations are only 4 years, even though the UK does 5 years because it's impractical to do 4 years because you can't get anything done 4 years. But that's a different topic altogether. So my point is I have to take this approach as in a 4x1 because it may take that long to complete it. So make sure that we are doing our part to start the progress, because if another administration has to start from the start of where I started, I started discussing this at the end of 2020 when I was minister. So the first part of 2022 we started to get down into this work, and we're now in 2024, only two years and odd. And we're only to this point now where we're actually going to have a report that can give us a decision. Mm-hmm. So hopefully that answers your question from the costing perspective.
We're 9 months away from the next general election.
Correct.
And so I'll commit to you, we'll have that cost for everybody tonight.
Thank you very much, because we want to know, the public want to know, looking at whether you come from West Bay, Northside, Eastern, Barton, or up there, Cayman Brack, we want to know how much our good friends at KPMG and Spantic, the engineers, somebody making some good money. What's the cost to the country?
Well,
how is it pronounced?
Stantec.
Oh,
well, one thing you got to know is that
the science behind it all.
Yeah,
Stantec.
And I'm glad that you highlight that, because some people will say, "Well, boy, you're paying them $200,000 to do this report." People spend hundreds of thousands to be an engineer that can build infrastructure that is a multi-million-dollar infrastructure. These people, these engineers, these specialists, don't come cheap. And if you want a properly designed option, you're going to have to pay for it. Now, if you want to, we can do some not as expensive engineer. And matter of fact, bear in mind, this goes through the procurement process as according to law. So Kenneth Bryan don't got nothing to do with it. It goes according to the procurement law. We have a procurement committee that does not have a political component to it. And they select, and they give them the points and the reasons why they were selected. And cost is not the only factor in there. It's about the ability to deliver the information that the people need to make the decision. So these specialists have to be of certain caliber, because you don't want nobody giving you a report to build something that is fool, and then we have a big mistake, and then it costs us hundreds of millions of dollars. So I'd rather spend $100,000 today to get a report to give us the best decision, rather than spending $200-300 million and then it end up, and that's by all means not the costing of it, because I don't know the cost. They will have to tell us what the cost estimates will be. But I would rather do that, spend now to get the proper professionals to do it, than somebody give us bad advice that costs us, over $250 million.
Minister Bryan, if I may ask, with your permission, I would like to ask your chief officer. He has seen similar reports put together under Minister Makiva Bush, who would have been tourism minister, Minister Charles Clifford, a former tourism minister, and the highly esteemed Moses Kakernal. What about these reports? Have they been shelved? Can they not be rehashed today, or do we need a new plan, a new idea, a new vision, sir?
So, this, as far as I'm aware, I have not seen. So, I think you're confusing the what was done before was cruise.
I'm a confused man. I need your help, please. Help me understand, please.
What was done was cruise. This is cargo. So, a cargo port outline business case and master plan was not done before while I have been.
If I might ask,
I recall under Charles Clifford, though, when he was minister, doing one.
And
that's before my time.
I appreciate that the honourable minister invited Quincy, because
thank you.
To that point, you want to speak to all of us, right?
Yeah. Well, the thing is that Quincy's questions will be just as relevant as person who will. Well, they may confuse the public. May go, well, hold on, I did plenty of reports before. So his question allows me to give clarity to it. So
thank you, sir.
The chief officer just highlighted the point, which is a lot of reports have been done in the last 4 terms.
That's my point.
The Honourable Makiva Bush, the Honourable Charles Clifford, the Honourable Moses Kakernal. And all of those reports were done with a component of cruise added to it. This is the first report. We'll have it independently, not getting involved in the cruise discussion because we know how that went. But forget about cruise, because some people don't want cruise altogether, and some people think we need a bill of pair. Do not mix up that conversation with this. This is about your ability to sustain yourself, to feed yourself, because we import everything, to bring in lumber, to bring in furniture, your fridges, your cars, all of those things. That is separate than cruise. Even if we just say, you know what, we're done with cruise altogether, you still have this problem coming.
We might be going that route, actually. So,
but if I might, just to coincide, this is why I commend you for having a man on the street. And
a man on the street, there you go.
No, because this gives it live, this gives it relatable and clarity.
Yes.
So in trying to clarify that, there are many, as we announced you on today, who said, but in the past, they don't want to conflate nor confuse the cruise and the cargo port. But if, as is the practice now, the facility in the Hawkesbury Bay is used for both. Will this, if it's expanded wherever, it's reconstructed wherever, this cargo port, which is a lifeline of food, as you highlighted, will that also be used for cruise, just like how the cruise allegedly would have been used for cargo?
Good question.
Will the reverse, so you develop the cargo.
Good question. Very good question. Now, I'm tempted to pose that question into the report, but I can't. I'm not allowed to,
Quincy will tonight.
Because this question now has to be independent from that.
There.
Yeah.
But naturally, I would ask the question. So, okay, if we do go into a cargo new location, and you're going to be dealing with cargo anyway, could we add that cruise component? But I refuse to tamper with the thought process. This is cargo. Now, if the public gives consideration and say, well, you know what, why don't you tie both on one time and do one lick? Then that's a public consultation. That's the people's will. Now, logically speaking, if you're going to spend a lot of money in cargo operations and funding, maybe you want to consider that. But right now, this report is about cargo and importation, because I don't want to mix up the tourism cruise component into the vitalness of the ability to import food to feed our people, because we are a growing society, and that's what this is really about.
And again, just for clarity, as you reference, hopefully people listening, it's consultation, we want to hear, we want to know, they're going to decide on location of either one or the other or both. To date, has there been any indication of looking at alternative locations? We know the cruise and cargo ports as is now. The CDC in Portland Drive, the inland component, the seafront, waterfront in the Hawkesbury Bay, the sea component. That's where they are now. Have there been any sort of indications or considerations of moving either or both?
Okay. While I know that there's many people who may have just tuned in, didn't hear the earlier part, let me remind the public again one more time that this discussion today is because we're having a public consultation meeting tonight with the specialists who have been hired by a robust procurement process to independently give the government guidance on what to do about the significance of lacking infrastructure for the future demands of this country in respect to cargo redevelopment. Okay, so that's what this radio show is about, inviting you to come. That meeting starts tonight at 6:30 at the Compass Center location, where the Compass sell the newspapers. At the ground floor, at the bottom, they have a conference center. You'll see loads of cars, and I'm quite sure some indication of where to go. Once you park there, you can park across the street. You can come over. It's open for the public discussion. The specialists will be there on the panel. The chief officer will be there. I can't be involved. It has to come back to myself, as well as the chief, as well as the cabinet. So they're facilitating the consultation with the public. So the specialist from Stantec Group, the specialist from KPMG, the director of the port itself, he will be there. So to answer your question that you asked earlier, which is, has there been considerations to different locations before? The strategic outline case itself highlights a different location. But we can't do that only on the limited the qualifications of those port staff that we have. Now, granted, Mr. Joseph Woods is an amazing person, and conceptually, the strategic outline case says where's commonly places you can look at from a practical perspective. Now, that's why you had to do an outline business case where the true professionals can take in the other factors: social, environmental, long-term growth, population numbers, and all of these other factors in costing. That's why KPMG is on there. So they are now the technocrats with the expertise to give us a justified location for consideration by way of their recommendation, if that makes sense.
Respectful gentlemen, we have a break. May we just take that? I know we're going to
have
an abbreviated discussion. To our listeners, please stay online.
You deserve a unique vacation this year, one with easy non-stop flights from Cayman. Cayman Airways offers more non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline. Now you can add Panama and Los Angeles to your travel bucket list. Skip the hassle of connecting flights. Panama is just a 2-hour non-stop flight from Cayman. And Los Angeles? Get there in less than 5 hours non-stop aboard Cayman Airways. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Los Angeles or Panama getaway today.
Find your dream car with a Cayman National Vehicle Loan. Enjoy 100% financing, up to 8-year repayment, and a 7% fixed interest rate for the first 5 years. For eco-friendly cars, we'll waive your commitment fee. This only applies to new vehicles. Call 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
On behalf of the Port Authority of the Cayman Islands, the Ministry of Ports is hosting 2 public consultations to examine the options for the future expansion of the cargo port. This is your chance to share your views and shape our island's future. Make sure to join them tonight, Wednesday, July 31st, at the Vault, which is located at the Compass Center for those of you who don't know, and again tomorrow, Thursday, August 1st. Location will be at the Church of God Chapel in Bodden Town. Both meetings begin at 6:30 p.m. Can't make it? No worries. Participate through the online survey, which you can access on the Ministry's government page, or tune in live on Facebook. Your voice matters. Be part of the conversation and help build a better future for our Cayman Islands. For more details, visit gov.ky/tourism-transport or follow the Ministry of Tourism and Ports on Facebook and Instagram.
July is Laundry Month at Brand Source Home Gallery. Get ready to save big with 15% off on all washers and dryers, both domestic and commercial, and 30% off on selected laundry items.
Is your washer or dryer on its last spin? Now's the time to upgrade. From GE, LG, Samsung, Beko, Electrolux to Frigidaire, save up to 30% on laundry appliances during the month of July.
Visit Brand Source Home Gallery on Dorsey Drive in Industrial Park or call 623-5000.
Check out brandsourcecayman.com for more deals. Voted Best Appliance Store of 2023.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Bodden Town, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin, or the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Bodden Town. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
You know what I love to do with my family? Go fishing. I can put the bait on and cast and reel the line all by myself. My mommy and daddy say when they were little, there were plenty more fish to catch, but now there are lots more people fishing, so it's harder to find them. That's why we have marine parks now. They set some areas aside so the fish there can have babies and grow bigger. Then they swim out to other areas where I can catch them. Having the marine parks means there will still be fish there when I'm grown up and fishing with a family of my own.
For more info, download the Cayman DOE app or visit doe.ky.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back and thanks for joining us. And as we said earlier, we're always grateful to the opportunity to speak directly to our elected parliamentarians, and this time the Honourable Minister for Tourism and Ports. He'll forgive me for saying Mr. Kenneth Bryan, even though he's my junior, but we're very respectful parents. So together with the chief officer, and he has, as he said, saw Quincy Brown and said, hey, come join me. So
it is truly an honor to have him here.
Thank you.
I have another listener, sir, who said, thank you for doing that. Good to see Quincy. He brings, as I shall do, amazing intellect. And so thank you.
I may actually, further this on, because Quincy brings a unique perspective. and I think people love his interaction. So it's an opportunity to prove his great value he still has, because sometimes, we give up too quickly. That's just my opinion, and I'm one of those persons who has been given my second chance, and I think that when you show that you can give second chances, what it can produce.
Thank you, Minister.
I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I think it proves that it can be done. Anyway, that being said, I know we had a message came in through the break about why not having meetings in everywhere across the island, and there's only 2 meetings. Justified question, and the purpose of that is because the professionals and the technocrats that have been independently selected through the procurement process, a very robust one. Many of the specialists are off island, so they had to be flown in specific to this meeting, and we wanted to consolidate to the western side and the eastern side of the island, and hopefully everybody can be involved. Now, if for some reason or another you cannot get to the meeting, but you want your opinions heard, you can do so by the Slido.
I'll make you one. Fido, maybe.
There's an online option called Slido that you can send questions in. And once you go to the Facebook and YouTube pages, we'll be airing live tonight, and we'll be repeating that tonight. Go through the options whereby you can download Slido on your phone, on your app, and you can send questions in. The other way you can do that is we're doing an online survey. So yes, in addition to the in-person meetings, the public will also have the opportunity to provide their feedback via an online survey, which is available until Friday the 2nd of August. The survey takes only about 5 minutes to complete and is available on the Ministry of Tourism and Ports website, which is www.gov.ky/tourism and transport. Somebody gonna have to buy me lunch for that one. So they continue to leave the transport on there. I'm Minister of Ports, but we haven't updated all the singular areas. So
I just got it. Yeah, I'm slow. I just got it.
Yeah. But the most important thing is you can do the survey there. Okay, so just go online, www.gov.ky/tourism-transport. And you can find the survey there and do the survey. It won't take you 5 minutes. And that way you can get direct feedback, because it asks you certain questions, what your thoughts are, and that comment section for you. And if you have any question about the strategic outline case, it's also available on the Ministry of Tourism and Ports website, which is the right terminology. The Facebook page, which will be airing it live tonight, will also have comment sections. So somebody from my team will be monitoring that, and when questions are not coming up in person or on Slido app where we're using, we can monitor that and say, here's a question, maybe we want to clarify that. So I really would rather people in person though. So again, let me repeat that the meeting is tonight, and it's going to be at the Compass Center, where Compass Caymanian Compass or Cayman Compass, whichever one you know it as, right across the street from Jake Scott's on Shedden Road. It starts at 6:30. The downstairs part has a conference center. I know you can't really see it from outside, but once you go into the parking lot, on the side of the building, there's an entrance door there. Come inside. We can hold lots of people, and the panel will be set up 6:30 till 9 p.m. I will be there myself, the director of the Port Authority, my chief officer, the representative from Stantec, as well as KPMG to answer and present options. So this is the first time, let me say this may gravitate to a lot of people. This is the first time publicly they will be presenting the potential options of the future of cargo in this country. So come and be the first to see and give your thoughts, because that report will be sent up to us. Again, let me not leave out my eastern side of the island. Tomorrow the meeting will happen again, and this doesn't preclude people from West Bay or Georgetown from going to the Borden Town meeting, but the meeting for tonight was more from a close proximity perspective. So if you want to go to the meeting again tomorrow, which will also be aired on Radio Cayman, the meeting tonight is not on Radio Cayman, but the meeting tomorrow will be on Radio Cayman. As well with is YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, and all these other media platforms, and SIG TV if you have cable. That meeting will be located tomorrow night, August the 1st, at 6:30 again to 9 p.m. at Church of God Chapel, which is 3251 Shamrock Road, 3251 Shamrock Road, Borden Town. And I know all the Borden Towners would know where that Church of God Chapel is, but those from Northside and East End, it's on 3251 Shamrock Road. And that chapel is very large, hold a lot of people, so all the regular things will be set up. YouTube, Facebook, Slido options for sending comments. You can make a comment on Facebook, or you can go ahead and do, as I said before, the survey options, which can happen all the way up until Friday this week. We want to hear your opinions. Again, go online to do the survey. It only takes 5 minutes, and you can find that on the Ministry of Tourism and Ports website at www.gov.ky/tourism/transport. Now, if you forget, and you didn't get a chance to write that down, the good thing about YouTube, if you're listening right now, you can go back and replay it as what we said. And if you have any questions, call the Ministry of Tourism.
Yep.
My team is there. Make sure to have that information available so we can have the answer. I will be there tonight. Please, I'm begging you, come out. I want to hear from you. Whether it's come out in person or tune in online on these various platforms or send your surveys in, because what I don't want, which normally happens, is, oh, they did this report in the public consultation, nobody came out, nobody never said nothing, I never heard about this before. Now, that sounds a little bit teasing.
The word is out there.
But when the opportunity is given, I want to hear what you have to say.
Yes.
Right? I don't want to leave anything out. I want you to come in and critique and give input so we can get the best solution for you, the people.
And if I may, and I started by saying this, and I'll end by saying this, the minister has a vested interest in hearing what the people gotta say. Look, yeah, he really does. And I give him that. Again, I'll just use the last 30 seconds to thank you for having me on. Cayman, come out tonight. You know where it's going to be. Come out, listen. The minister will be listening. And invite me on anytime. I'll just close by saying that it is our constitutional and inalienable right to be able to vote. We are 9 months away from the next general election. Look at Cayman. Vote wise. I'm Quincy Brown.
All right. Thanks, Quincy. And Mr. Brian, thank you for extending the invitation to Quincy to join us. To our Chief Officer, thanks for coming in, and to our listeners, thank you for allowing us to exit just a bit early, but please accept the Ministry's invitation for the meetings tonight, 6:30, the Vault, the Compass Center across from Jake Scott, and then tomorrow evening in the Chapel Church in Borden Town, their hall.
Stand to decide the future of our cargo infrastructure for Cayman.
So the social media sites, Facebook and YouTube, but also the CIG TV channel, if you have that. And Radio Cayman will carry the meeting, as the minister said, live tomorrow evening. Thanks very much. Looking forward to perhaps a subsequent discussion following the presentations, and as much as we can, thank you again. And to listeners, well, God's willing, tomorrow will be another day.
Thanks.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
Covering Little Cayman, Cayman Bright.